Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you're all having a great day. You might be noticing that my background is different because I decided to do this session somewhere in another part of my apartment. So, welcome. Good afternoon. This is Tips to Overcome Your Shyness, Part 3. It's a hump day. It's a Wednesday, 2 more days before we end the week, and it's almost the mid part of the month now. So, I can't believe it's already next week's going to be October 15. And then in another few weeks, it's going to be November. And then it's going to be December. It's going to be Christmas time soon. And then it's going to be 2022, which seems like 2021 just passed by, right? Time flies so fast. I hope you're having a great week so far. I am optimistic because recently, when you look at the numbers of COVID-19, the numbers are in a downward trend. And that's not only in the Philippines, but in many parts of the world. So I'm hopeful that we are probably halfway through this pandemic. I'm hoping. Delta made us feel like we're not yet halfway, but I'm hopeful. I don't know. December's gonna come soon, so maybe that's gonna cause another spike, and I don't want that to happen again. But in the meantime, I'm thankful that the situation is getting better so far. I'm also able to go out and eat again. I went to the gym this afternoon. I'm able to see some friends for dinner. Inch by inch, I'm trying to manage my anxiety every time I go out. So I hope you're in a better place as well. Could you please give us an exclamation mark if you are hearing me loud and clear so far? It will be great to see that from our participants. I'm looking at the chat box right now. We have some folks from Jacqueline from FINMA University of Pangasinan. Q Lapis says, yes, hopeful too, Sir Jonathan. I have no choice. I need to be hopeful, guys, because it's been so stressful and anxious lately. Camille Canete says, good afternoon. Welcome from Duty Free Philippines. So thank you again for joining our session as usual. Right? More exclamation marks, please, before we start. It will be great to see that from our participants. Ta La is from Globe Telecom Incorporated. I just finished a session for you guys a few days ago. So thank you for being part of our webinar this afternoon. I'm also not seeing a lot of likes and hearts yet. So please, if you haven't yet liked this webinar, please do so. If you have not shared yet this webinar to your Facebook or LinkedIn feed, please do so, because in order for you to be eligible to give away, to claim our prizes, you need to share this webinar on your Facebook feed. I got lots of prizes for you today. We're going to give away not just our webinar tickets, but we have prizes from our sponsors. We have 2 sponsors who are going to give away some generous gifts in today's session. So let's get to business. If you happen to miss part 1 and part 2 of this topic, you can scan the QR code or you can copy the link into your browser. They're all 100% for free and all yours for viewing. And you can watch that any time of the day. Okay, so I'm also going to say hello and hi to our viewers who are watching us on LinkedIn and also on YouTube. Thank you, because you're helping us build our community. Please take note that this is being streamed live in those platforms as well. Okay? If you haven't yet given us a like, I'm going to do another reminder. I'm going to be obsessed about this, guys. Please give us some likes, give us some hearts. We will appreciate that. That's the only thing that will help us improve our social media algorithm so we can be watched by other like-minded folks, just like you. Okay? And this is our company. If it's your first time to see us, we specialize in organizational behavior. So whether it be about public speaking, business writing, motivation, and the like, we help companies propel their employees to success. We take pride for having conducted trainings and workshops and consultations for many countries and companies around the world. If you happen to be seeing your company's logo on this slide, we thank you because you've been part of our growth. Jade Alforque is asking, sir, is this live on YouTube? Yes, it also is. So if you prefer to watch this on YouTube, you can just go to our official video studio. That's Jonathan Yabut. Okay. Anne says, hello, batchmate from UP Econ. Ooh, hello, Anne. I hope you're doing great. It's been a while. I haven't been to the campus as well in Diliman. I think the last time I was there was 4 years, 3 years ago. I think I did a talk for an organization also back then. I miss being in college. Do you guys remember the times when you were still in university and your biggest problem was what food are you going to eat? or if you're going to cut class because you prefer to do something else like watch a film or do some training for your organization. I was a member of the UP Debate Society, and there were moments when I had to cut class because I was so hyped up with emotion that I wanted to debate with my org mates. Glenda Sanchez says, first time to watch live. Thank you. I hope you get to enjoy this session as well. Michael Garcia says, hello from Binondo. You know, Binondo was a big part of my life when I was in high school and grade school. So my parents and my family lived in Tondo, in Moriones, Tondo, Manila. And I finished my grade school and high school in Letran. It was an all-boys school back then. So technically, you can walk from Tondo until Letran, and you have to pass by Binondo to do that. So we would cross the bridge from Intramuros to Binondo, Binondo to Divisoria, and Divisoria to Moriones and Tondo, Manila. So I miss those times. And things were still so simple back then. John Santos says hello also from Bulacan. If you happen to want to watch our past webinars, you can all watch them, Gladiators in Suits. That's the QR code, and that is also the link. Please take a photo or take a screenshot. They're all yours, 100% for free. Okay. If you also would like to get an optional certificate for this webinar, you can also scan the QR code, or you can also copy the link. All of our past webinars, all 100 plus of them, you can claim an e-certificate in case it is needed by your school or also by your organization. Myrene Garcia says, hello from Savoy Hotel, Manila. And Agnes Cos also saying hi and is watching. So we're going to give away some freebies today. We're going to give away some audience members tickets to our premium webinar and also some prizes from our generous sponsors. All you need to do is to like and share this webinar. If you are watching this from Facebook or LinkedIn, you have to share this on your news feed. When you share this on your news feed, your name on the chat box is going to have that label. So only those who have a label that says sharer will be eligible to join our contests in a while. What will I be giving away apart from our prizes from our free webinars? Today we'll be giving away 200 pesos worth of gift certificate to one lucky participant courtesy of Urban Smiles Dental Clinic. Confidence is not just about being able to speak your mind, it's also being able to beam that beautiful smile. So thank you to Urban Smiles, because my smile is courtesy of Dr. RFD from Urban Smiles Dental Clinic, and they're very happy to give away a 200 peso gift certificate to one lucky participant later on. I'm also going to give away 2 tickets to our upcoming webinar on October 23. That is 2 weeks from now, The Art of Virtual Selling and Remote Customer Service. I'm also going to give away 2 tickets to our upcoming webinar, Boost Your Confidence Workshop. This one is on October 30, Saturday, 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock p.m. I hope you also get to join this. And if you're interested, we have group and corporate discounts. 3 plus 1 for free and 8 plus 3 for free. One more. We are going to give away, I love these treats, one lucky winner this afternoon, 500 pesos worth of freebies from Osh, or Oh So Healthy. They gave me some boxes a few weeks back, and I love them to the point that I asked them, could you please be part of our webinars? And so they were very happy to participate. So these are healthy treats. They come in beautiful, delicious flavors like mango, guava, coconut, jackfruit. And of course, they're healthy, gluten-free, and preservatives-free. So they're fun flavored snacks. We are going to give you a 500 peso voucher so you can claim your gifts later on. Okay? All good so far? I hope you're all excited for that. Actually, since we are so generous, we are going to start giving away the freebies now. I am going to give away now the 500 peso worth of freebies from Osh. The catch is you need to be the one who shares this webinar on your Facebook or on your LinkedIn feed. Are you guys ready? So let me call out now our winner. So my winner, ladies and gentlemen, remember, an audience member needs to be sharing this on your Facebook feed or LinkedIn feed in order for you to win the prize. So the first contest, the first prize is from Osh, Also Healthy. My winner, ladies and gentlemen, let's just call out first our participants. All right. My winner, ladies and gentlemen, the name is Jade Antoinette Alforque. Congratulations, Jade Antoinette Alforque. Congratulations. You just won 500 pesos worth of freebies from Osh. Oh, so healthy, right? So, in order for you to win that prize, how do you claim it? Well, look at the screen in front of you. So you please, if you can, take a photo, take a screenshot. You have to copy the email address and you have to indicate that you have won 500 pesos. Right? So please look at that. That's the email address. That's mktg or marketing at imsohealthy.com. So you can claim your e-gift voucher. Congratulations again to our winner. We're going to give away some more prizes later on. So stay tuned for that before we start. All right, let's get to business. You guys know the house rules. Keep the chat box noisy, participate in the polls, and if you can, ask a question. This is not a podcast. This is not a recorded webinar. This is a live interaction. If you happen to be shy, however, and you want to still ask a question, you can send me an email, jonathanyabut at jycvasia.com. Okay, so today's agenda, let's get to business now. We are going to talk about 3 situations, and these are all letters sent to me on Facebook and LinkedIn by some of our listeners and viewers involving shyness. So we're going to talk about some tips on what to do about them. So let's get to business with question number 1. And here is where the question starts. Jonathan, why is it that we feel more comfortable hanging out with a crowd when we know them? I think this is not rocket science. We all feel comfortable when we're talking to loved ones, to our best friends, to someone that we have met or talked to in the past. Even when I'm not knowledgeable about a certain subject, I'm less shy to talk about it when I'm talking to someone that I know. Is there a psychological reason to this? Why is it that when we feel comfortable talking to someone, it's likely because we have known them for quite a while, right? And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. I'm going to ask first a question to our participants so we can validate. Whenever I am in social events, I am more looking forward to talk to blank. Letter A, to people I have yet to know, or letter B, to people I already know. Could you please type your answers? It will be great to see your responses here. So some of you may easily say to people I already know, but guys, there are a lot of folks who rather prefer to look forward to talking to someone they don't know because they're looking forward to meeting new friends. So if I were to categorize myself, I think I'm more leaning to letter B. I may be an extrovert in front of an audience or on a stage, but when it comes to attending parties, I am not that social butterfly. I'm going to be honest about that. So I will say letter B. But however, there are some people, like I'm looking at the chat box, Julius Mendoza says letter A, people I've yet to know. My brother Jed is also, he's an introvert, but he's also an extrovert in parties. So he's not as shy as I am when it comes to looking forward to meeting new folks. In fact, he loves meeting new people in parties. April Tejada says letter A and also letter B. That's also a valid answer. You can be both in this case, right? So some considerations, some reasons why we are more comfortable talking to people that we know. Number 1, there is such a thing called a security blanket. So a security blanket is any person, a thing, or a thought that makes you feel comfortable even when engaging with strangers or new situations. So it is like an emotional crutch. So I want to highlight, sometimes if you feel that everything around you is strange, the body and the brain tends to be in survival mode. I want to highlight that. Survival mode meaning, ooh, I don't know if someone is going to eat me. I don't know if someone's going to be my enemy. The brain has been like that for thousands and thousands of years. Unfortunately, the brain has not properly evolved. It remains to be in that mode of survival. That's why when something happens to be strange, we tend to be on high alert. We tend to be in survival mode. And for that reason, one way to mitigate it instead is to use what we call a security blanket. When you happen to be talking to someone that you are familiar with, that person is actually your security blanket. And I want to highlight, it doesn't need to be a person. Anything that helps you feel a level and gain a level of familiarity is a security blanket. It could be a smartphone that you hold on to. Do you have that sometimes when you're in a party? You tend to hold onto your smartphone and use it more often because that's the only thing that makes you feel that you have someone to talk to, right? Some people bring a teddy bear, a toy, it could be a bag, it could be a purse, whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable because there is familiarity despite the strangeness of the environment. That's called a security blanket. That is one of the psychological reasons why we feel better talking to someone. The other reason is I want to highlight that when you talk to someone that you don't feel judged at all. And in fact, even if you're going to be judged, we easily feel that these people are going to love us and accept us despite our insecurities, despite our shortcomings. Can I get an exclamation mark if you can relate to that? That's the reason why. This is also why another tip for you to manage your insecurities when you happen to be in a group of strangers is shrug it off. There is no other way but to say, yeah, they're going to judge me, but everyone judges anyway. There's no point being worried about what other people think of me because no matter what I do, these people are going to judge who I am. Why do people judge? Because it's part of our survival mode. I need to judge you because I need to know if you can be my enemy or my friend. I need to judge you because I need to know if you're an ally for my success. So you can't blame people if they have to be judgmental. Everyone needs to be judgmental. It's just a question of am I too judgmental or not so judgmental? But everyone needs to be judgmental. Shrug it off. Everyone needs to judge you. Okay? So I hope you appreciate that part. Number two, my other tip is if you do not have someone familiar in the crowd, well, you have to create a friend. So it matters to create someone familiar. The faster you do this, the easier you can get through the discomfort. So here's one of my tips. Whenever I do talks prior to COVID-19 and I would do it with large audiences, some people ask me, John, do you still get nervous when you have to talk to a group of 500 or 1,000 people? And my answer is, of course, yes, because I am a human being. It's very natural to feel nervous about it. So what do I do to manage that part? I will come to the audience area early, or I will go to the backstage early. I will look for someone that I can talk to. I'm going to get my cup of coffee or some bread or some sweets and snacks. I'm going to talk to someone. I'm going to befriend that person so that at least one person in the backstage is someone I'm already comfortable with. Sometimes, if I have more time, I will talk to one member of the audience. I will let myself stay in the audience area where the seats are, and I will let someone approach me, or I will also approach someone. Sometimes you have to hustle. Sometimes you have to be the one to make a friend because these people are not going to approach you because they might be busy or they need to do something else. That's the second part. Number three, since we're talking about human beings, take note that if you cannot create familiarity from a person, you can still create familiarity through non-living things. For example, create familiarity by choosing a location that you are familiar with. So for example, when I do my talks in a virtual setting, let's say a company says, John, we need to do it in a video conferencing platform. Which are you most comfortable with? Are you comfortable with Google Meet, Zoom, or Microsoft Teams? When I get nervous about when talking to a group of 5,000 people online, I will say, I'm comfortable with any platform, but Zoom happens to be my most used platform. So I'm comfortable with it. So I will use Zoom. And that already gives me a level of familiarity. I may not know who the people are on their videos, but I know the platform. That lowers down my insecurities. Same thing also, if it's post COVID-19, if you have a chance to choose a location, let's say you're inside the office of the company, you're about to do a pitch in front of the management team. You know what strategic way? Choose a meeting room that you love the most. Choose a meeting room that you feel most comfortable with. That is going to add a layer of comfort if in case you happen to be nervous when you need to talk to a group of folks. Another example is do a situation, right? A situation meaning do a ritual. Have you seen those tennis players and how they're so ridiculous about their rituals? So some players, they would put two bottles of water aligned to each other. I forgot if that was Nadal or Federer. By the way, there would be some people who would pray first. Some people would create a ritual by doing a clap sign with their friends. Whatever it is, Creating a familiar situation helps you feel comfortable before a strange meeting or a pitch needs to happen. So, if you cannot find a familiar person, create a familiar environment or create a familiar situation. So Samantha is asking, what is your security blanket, John? Ooh, a lot. Uh, I think my security blanket would be I would message my loved ones. That would be one. I would. So here's what I do. I remember a scene. I remember a scene where I did a talk for 10,000 people. When I remember that scene, I tell myself, John, you were able to get through those 10,000 folks. What more? This is just 200. This is just 100. So if you can do that, you can also do this. That works for me. Okay. Another one would be my bag. So prior to COVID-19, I would use this black backpack, and people often think that I'm like a high school or grade school student with it. But even when I need to go to the backstage, I would still bring the backpack with me, and I would feel secure wearing it because I feel like I feel lucky with it. I feel that I'm more secure, and I would often give it to the handler or to the producers in the backstage and say, please take good care of my bag because I'm about to go on stage now. So that's a security blanket as well. Okay. I want to ask our participants now in the chat box. Could you please type, what is your security blanket? Could you please reflect now? I want you to be conscious of what that is. Is it, for example, some people, I know a friend, what she does is that she opens this message conversation between her and her boyfriend. And she would read it because the message would be about how they love each other and how they talk about sweet things. So when she reads it, she feels more comforted even when she feels nervous. That's a security blanket, right? You know, when people hang their medals and also their plaques in the office, it's not because people want to brag about what they have accomplished. It may be one reason, but the other reason is sometimes it helps to remind ourselves that this is how we've gone so far. And so every time we get to doubt our own abilities because we become insecure, we second guess our capabilities, those plaques, those medals tend to remind us over time that you can do this because you've gone through a very spectacular journey already. Okay? So I hope that works for many of our participants for today. Trying to look at the chat box. What are your security blankets? So I'm reading right now. Calling my husband first, says Labella V. Ista Manalo says, my necklace. Myrene Garcia says, a smartphone. A smartphone is always one of the easiest, how do you call this? Security blanket, I must say. A bag, says Jody. Rachel San Pedro says, a Bible verse. It gets me grounded and centers me. That also helps. Samantha also says, I always wear a ring that's chunky. I feel more grounded whenever I can touch it while talking in front of an audience. That's true. Some people do this, by the way, whenever they speak. Q Lapis is a cup. Ooh, you reminded me. This is also my security blanket, a cup of coffee. That's right. Whenever I'm in a meeting, I need to have a cup of coffee beside my laptop. It makes me feel secure. That's true. Same thing. A cup of coffee makes me feel like I'm on the go. I'm about to conquer the world. I'm fueled by caffeine, and no one can stop me from what I need to accomplish. So here's one more. Tracy Jimenez says, my wedding ring. Nick says, I tell myself it's showtime. It's reminding myself that, like any show, I prepared well for it. And if I make a mistake, it's just a performance. It's not me. I'm not a mistake. That's true. You're able to segregate the performance part of yourself versus who you are as a person. Thank you. That's a very good way of also saying it. Jade says, drink water and dress smart. Jade Alforque says, drink water. Sorry. Connie Las Cunha says, my rosary beads on my pocket. I know some people who do that. Whenever they're about to do a meeting, they roll their fingers on their rosary beads. Jennifer Bastaricha says, holding the cue card or program during the hosting job, but not actually reading it. That also works. That's your security blanket. My T1D son, says Alan Placencia. All right. Thank you for sharing your security blankets. The more you're conscious about your security blankets, the more you can make use of them. And hey, if it works for you, milk it. We all cope in our own ways, right? I like this response from Minerva Montalvo. Dressing up. That is so true. Power dressing, right? Gives me additional confidence. You know, when women wear heels, when men wear the ties, when I wear a really elegant suit or a dashing silky black bag, leather bag, makes me feel great also. So thank you for sharing that. Can I get an exclamation mark if we are learning something so far about familiarity and how familiarity is important? Familiarity, sorry, preparation breeds familiarity. Familiarity breeds confidence. And confidence, I'd like to think, breeds success. Because when you're confident, you tell yourself, I've done this 1,000 times. I've prepared for this 100 times. I can't afford to lose because I've done it even when I was sleeping, even when I am closing my eyes, for example. Okay, let's do another raffle. Are you guys ready for this? Gladiators and Suits. We're going to give away now 200 pesos worth of gift certificates courtesy of Urban Smiles Dental Clinic. They do have branches nationwide in Cebu, in Iloilo, and they also have in Quezon City, in Pasig, Mandaluyong, and the like. So, I'm going to call out the winner now by choosing randomly from the chat box from the participants who have shared this webinar on their Facebook feed. So I hope you have. I'm giving you time. If you have not yet shared this webinar on your Facebook feed, please do so because that's your eligibility to be able to win a prize. My winner, ladies and gentlemen, if you're all ready, I hope you're all ready now. Okay. My winner, ladies and gentlemen, the name is Lawrence J. Loregas. Lawrence J. Loregas, congratulations. You just won 200 pesos worth of gift certificate courtesy of Urban Smile. Lawrence, for you to be able to claim that prize, what do? Look at the screen right now. You should be seeing the email address of the Urban Smiles marketing department. So please copy that and send them an email. If you can, copy, get a screenshot of this as well. There you go. And I hope you get to enjoy a new Beaming Smile. You can use it for your consultations, for your prophylaxis, if you want some teeth whitening or whatever it is. Okay, let's go. Let's proceed to question number 2. Jonathan, I find myself in conversations when the people talk about something I am not familiar with. For example, they talk about fashion, gadgets, cars, TV series, and I start feeling inferior because I don't know what they're talking about, right? How do I overcome this? So it seems like this person feels inferior because when someone knows something about fashion, gadgets, or cars, the person's more cultured. Perhaps the person happens to be richer. Perhaps the person is enjoying more in life, right? So the insecurity is coming from that. The inferiority mindset is coming from that. So let's address this question and let's first do a quick poll. Let's evaluate. Rate this statement 1 to 5. 5 as strongly agree. Gladiators in suits. So here's the statement. I feel small or left out at times when I cannot keep up with a conversation topic of a group of people. Could you please type your responses here? Do you feel small or left out at times when you can't keep up with a conversation topic of a group of people? If I were to rate this subject, I would say I can't say I'm totally left out, but I do feel that. So I would say 3.5 or 4. I would, especially when you care about the people, or especially when you feel like I wish I can be part of that conversation because they seem to be having fun. Of course, I would feel that way. So I'm looking at the chat box. We have a diverse set of answers here. Some people are typing 1, 3, and 4. Some people don't care. Some people do care. Totally fine. The goal is to be acknowledging your own feelings. Okay? So here are a few considerations so that I want you to feel better. Because first and foremost, while it's natural to feel that you're left out, you should not feel inferior about it. It does not make you less of a person. It does not make you. It does not make something wrong out of you in the first place. Right. So first one, steer the anxiety into curiosity. Right. So my very effective technique, which I do to myself, is instead of feeling insecure and anxious, I will feel excited. I will feel excited because hey, that's something that I don't know yet. So I'd like to know something new today because I already know X, Y, and Z, but apparently I also don't know A, B, and C. That's the first one. Number two, I want you to manage your choice of words. Be critical because when you choose your words wisely, you take away the feeling of inferiority. So some people, when they ask you, John, do you watch Game of Thrones? Right? For example, do you watch Game of Thrones? And some people would say, it's not my cup of tea. And some people would say, sorry, I don't watch Game of Thrones. Now, there's something wrong when you say the word sorry because saying the word sorry assumes that you have to apologize for being different. Celebrate who you are. You just happen to not know it, or you just happen to not be have time to watch it, or it's just not you. It's just not your cup of tea. So don't say sorry. Don't apologize for it because you are who you are. Consider instead saying, I don't watch it, but I'm interested to know. It's something that a lot of people talk about, so it got me interested. But please, guys, don't say sorry. Don't apologize for who you are. You are special for your own uniqueness. Can I get an exclamation mark if we're appreciating those choice of words? So another example, like someone asks you, John, have you been to Paris? Have you been to Paris, France? Some people would say, oh, I'm so sorry, I have not been. Why are you saying sorry? Right? It's not your fault. Not everyone can go to Paris because it takes a lot of time to fly there. It takes a lot of money, not to mention, even if you've already flown, it will take a lot of money to live there and travel for a few days. So it's not your fault. It's just who you are as a person, and we are all unique as it is. Say something like, I have not yet, but it would be great to be able to visit Paris soon. Okay? When I have time. Right? Number three, if people seem to be judgmental that you don't know a lot about something that they think is basic. So some people would say, and I'm guilty of this, I'm also guilty of this. Some people would say something like, what? You don't know X? What? You haven't eaten yet at this restaurant? What? You don't know this brand? What? You don't play this game? Right? If someone says that to you, shrug it off. Don't take it personally. You can, it's normal to feel hurt about it, but take note that if ever you're not familiar about brand X, Y, and Z, it does not define who you are as a person. It does not make the other person superior, neither does it make you inferior. It's just one microscopic aspect of who you are. Yes, you don't play the guitar, but fine. You have so many other things to celebrate. You're good in playing the piano instead. You're probably good in playing basketball. You probably have a loved one who loves you so much. You probably have a pet dog that you care for and bring out to the park every morning. We all have our own plus and minuses. So celebrate it. Do not let someone make you feel inferior without your consent. If you feel inferior about it, it's you giving them your consent. Don't let that happen. It's just one aspect of who you are. So I was posting this 2 days ago. I said I was posting this message on my Facebook account, and I said, don't let your success or failure at work define who you are as a person. Your job is important because it makes you put food on the table, but it does not determine who you are. If you're not able to meet a deadline, yes, it's not the best thing in the world, but it does not determine who you can be in the future. It does not make you a bad person all the time, right? It's just one aspect of your life, right? So when you think like that, you can take away that feeling of inferiority when other people make you feel so. All right? Can I get another exclamation mark? I hope we are learning something so far. It's a big part of it is in your mind. I want to highlight this, right? A big part of it, if you want to resolve that, it has to come from your own mindset. No one is going to make you feel better about it but you. All right, let's proceed. I want to highlight again, if you happen to miss parts 1 to 2 of this topic, you can scan the QR code that's shown in front of you, or you can copy the link into your browser. We got hundreds of past webinars, all introductory sessions that you can watch. Let's give away now one of our webinar links. So this is the Art of Virtual Selling. It's a remote customer service premium bootcamp happening on October 23. We're going to give away 2 winners, 2 tickets for this session. And if you guys are ready, I am gonna call out now again two audience members who each are going to win one ticket. Granted, you must be sharing this webinar on your Facebook or LinkedIn newsfeed. So, my winner, ladies and gentlemen, my first one, the name is Anne Lei. Anne Lei, Annelei. Congratulations, Anne Lei. I hope you're listening here with my shout out. My second winner, ladies and gentlemen, the name is Enrico Lorena Boral. Congratulations, Enrico Lorena Boral. So congratulations to both of you. You win each one ticket to our upcoming premium online webinar. The Art of Virtual Selling and Remote Customer Service. That's happening on October 23, Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay, very good. Thank you. One more commercial. Join us next week, Wednesday, October 13. How to manage attention of your virtual audience, part 4. Please save the date. Take a screenshot, take a photo. How to manage attention of your virtual audience, part 4. Let's face it, guys, even if the COVID-19 has settled down, I don't think we're going to be permanently be 100% face-to-face in our engagements. There will be a permanent part of our engagements that will be virtual because we have realized how efficient it is, time-wise and resources-wise. Okay. October 20, that is 2 weeks from now. The next webinar for free is also the art of coaching and giving feedback remotely. This is the first ever webinar of a 5-part series. So I hope you get to join us. Save the date, the art of coaching and giving feedback remotely. All right, let's cap off the session because it's getting dark now. You notice I'm in front of my window. It's about to get dark. So question number 3, John, my friends think I'm shy during parties because I don't interact with many people in the parties when I'm invited. I just usually stick talking to people that I know. Am I being a bad guest? This one's a tricky debate. Is it bad if you went to a party and you did not mingle with other strangers? Is it bad if you are picky and choosy with the people that you talk to in a party? I have reservations about this, but I want to throw the question to our participants first. So let's ask, evaluate and rate this statement 1 to 5. 5 as strongly agree. So my question is it obligatory to mingle with strangers during parties? Let's look at the answers in your chat box. I would say it's not a crime, but I think there is a level of expectation that you have to mingle because a party is a party. The reason why you're being invited is not just because the host is inviting you to talk to them, but the party becomes better if everyone makes friends with each other, right? So I would say a 3.5 or a 4, right? I will never say 1 or 2 because I think it's rude. I think it's totally rude that you don't talk to anyone because what's the point, right? What's the point of attending a party? So I'm looking at the chat box. We have a mixed set of answers also. Some 3, some 1, some 4 according to Anne Roque. 4 also from Ronald Cabaluna, and Anne Lei also says 5. Enaid Alfonso, on the other hand, says 1. Okay, so you give me your answer, no right or wrong in this case. Some considerations I'd like to share, and please comment also in the chat box what your thoughts are. Number 1, while a party expects interactions from guests, it's a party after all, right? It's not a silent party. It's supposed to be a fun party. So manage the pressure that you have to talk to everyone. If you happen to be shy, you don't need to oblige yourself to talk to each and every one of them. You can be fine as you are, right? So maybe it's totally okay that you don't chase each and every person, but try to mingle if ever someone asks you, hey, my name is Anna. What's your name? How did you get to meet the host of the party? It will be polite at minimum that you get to answer people's questions, right? Rather than just staying in the kitchen counter or avoiding people because you happen to be hiding in the corner, or the entire time you're just in front of your smartphone and you're talking to someone and people are waiting to be entertained by your stories. That's such a miss as well. Number 2, I also want to highlight that you have to also be more forgiving about yourself. Because if you happen to not want to interact with people, it doesn't mean that you happen to be shy. In the same way, if you see some people in a party who are not interacting with so many other guests, please don't judge them. It does not mean that they're snobbish. It does not mean that they are people who think that they are superior to anyone else. Perhaps they just happen to be introverts who also are in the party and would like to enjoy the company of the host. So, being shy is different from being an introvert. Introverted people don't want to mingle and interact because they just don't see the point of expressing themselves to everyone. They enjoy solitude and they don't need to be gathered with a group of people just to be energized. So introverted people, they happen to be more quiet because it's a preference. Shy people, on the other hand, prefer to be quiet because they are afraid of judgment. They are afraid of rejection from other people if in case they approach someone and the person does not talk to them. So I want to highlight there's a big difference between the two, right? I want to highlight a message here from Samantha. And she says, it's good that we are now more aware of introverts and how they are. People are no longer forcing people to go out of their ways socially. I agree with this. Even parents, I noticed this. When I was younger, my parents would always push people to say, you have to socialize more. But I think we've understood now how there's a difference between shyness and introversion. It's also part of managing our mental wellness. You don't force people to not be who they are because we celebrate their uniqueness as well. Okay. But of course, Samantha says it's expected to have minimum interaction with the hosts and also the other guests. I agree. One more comment here from Nick. And Nick says, some people are introverts or have sensory issues. I like how you chose the word sensory issues with talking to strangers. We have people in the workforce who have autism, who are in the autism spectrum, and they tend to get overwhelmed if they interact with a lot of strangers. I agree with this. Some people attend office parties because they have to, or family parties enforced by parents. So, for extroverted people, it's good to be aware that not everyone is okay with talking to random people. Thank you. It's very important to put that into light, right? Being extroverted does not make you superior to other people. It does not make you smarter. It does not make you nicer. It does not make you cooler. You just happen to be noisier, and that's also fine. You can be funny, you can be more interactive. Some people like that, but please take note, not everyone is on the same boat. Some people prefer to be on a quiet and relaxed mode as well. Okay. Another thing I'd like to share here, it doesn't hurt, however, to push yourself from your comfort zone from time to time. Try seeing it from a different perspective. Talking to someone can help you discover a new idea. That could be a reason for you to push yourself. You may not want to mingle, but do it because you are going to improve something that you don't know, right? It could be a network to connect to or a perspective to discover. When I was younger, when I was in my 20s, I would often avoid parties, especially Christmas parties. Like, I would go there because there's the raffle. I would go because there are freebies, but I would stick to the people that I know and eat with them on the same table. I would not mingle with other folks. And then I realized later on, wait a minute, my projects get done faster if I have built a relationship with people from engineering, with people from IT and networking. So I mingle with them, right? That was my incentive. And I saw the other benefit, why it pays to have friends. After all, you know what my biggest realization is? In the time of COVID 19. In the time of COVID 19, you can never have too many friends in your life. Can I get an exclamation mark if you agree? That was my biggest realization. Right? So prior to COVID 19, I've been living abroad for the longest time. I would fly back and forth to Manila, but I was living mostly in Kuala Lumpur. And my biggest regret was that, geez, now that I'm stuck in Manila since March 2020, it's hard for me to rekindle my relationships again with friends here in the Philippines because it's been a while since I've caught up with them. And now I appear to be the one chasing them just because I don't have enough friends in Manila, right? So pushing yourselves beyond that and being able to manage your comfort zone is going to be a plus deal. Okay? So the moral lesson here, if socialization is not your thing, Don't just do it because you're forced to do it, because you need to socialize. Try to look for another reason. I might learn something new from this person. It might change my perspective, right? I will be able to network and later on share what I know from this person. And in return, I can also ask a favor in return. Okay. Myrene Garcia says, as we grow older, we tend to mingle with other people than when we're younger, especially for introverts, right? As we also grow older, please take note, we tend to be more picky and selective of our friends because we no longer make friends out of the easiest superficial reasons. We tend to have higher standards for making friends, right? Marianne, let's cover your message here. For me, personal development is a process of your evolution and growth as a person. Every day is another chance to form progress from where you are yesterday. If it doesn't work out yesterday, if you failed yesterday, if you don't have a piece of knowledge about the topic, tomorrow is time to be better. It sounds like a song, by the way. Develop yourself, build it for you, and to what you might become. Very inspiring message. Thank you for sharing that, Marianne. Okay. Here's one more comment from Jennifer also. Socializing could also lead to building connections. I want to highlight this. Thank you for raising that, Jennifer. Sometimes, if you're looking for a job, you'll be surprised you're able to find a job not because your best friend referred you to a post on LinkedIn. You were able to find a job because the best friend of your mother's neighbor's cousin was able to pinpoint you to that job. And that happens. They're called weak ties. Let's not be dependent on our strong ties. The strong ties are your loved ones, colleagues, best friends, etc. Sometimes you've already exhausted the benefits from them. So go beyond those networks. Talk to the friend of the classmate of your brother's ex-girlfriend. Those are weak ties, right? If you're back now to COVID-19, pre-COVID-19 situation, if when all of this is done, when you're in the office, don't just keep on talking to people in your same department. When you can, try to nudge with someone at the cafeteria. Be more expressive, saying your highs and hellos in the elevator, right? Do it not because you're socializing, but you're also expanding your network at the end of the day. Okay? One more last comment before we end from Q Lapis. Coming out of your comfort zone is tough in the beginning, chaotic in the middle, and awesome in the end, right? Which is, by the way, change, right? Basically, coming out of your comfort zone is worth it because you get to see a whole new world. It always pays to make an attempt. And for me, that is the definition of life. Life is limited. We only have a few years, right, to count for our lives. And so while you're there, milk it, right? Make the most out of this. Samantha also says, I think shyness decreases with age. I'm already in my 30s and surprisingly, I find it easier to mingle and talk to anyone. That's also because you've already gained some confidence, because you know that you have a level of wisdom, because you have something to contribute to the table in every discussion. Right? So, familiarity with more things about the world gives you that confidence level. So, thank you for sharing that as well. All right. Are we good so far? Can I get an exclamation mark? Did we learn something today, gladiators in suits? I hope we have learned something. Derek has another comment. We have to be honest about what we want and take risks rather than to lie to ourselves and make excuses to stay in our comfort zone. I so agree. I so agree with this. And sometimes it's too late when you have regretted that you could have said something, you could have done something also. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, all good. Thank you very much. Let's give away now my last promise. Let's give away the 2 tickets for our Boost Your Confidence workshop happening on October 30. That is on Saturday, 3 weeks from now. The ticket is worth 799 pesos. And I'm going to call out now our 2 winners. Our 2 winners, ladies and gentlemen. The first one, the name is Danica Arellano. Congratulations, Danica Arellano. The second winner, ladies and gentlemen, the name is Suzette Cayetuna. Suzette Cayetuna, congratulations. Our dear winners, for you to claim your prize, please make sure you go to the bottom part of the screen. You see that scrolling marquee? That indicates there the link that you have to go to so we can claim your email address and we can hand over to you the Zoom links for our sessions. Okay? Congratulations. All right. Last announcement I'm gonna share. Please don't forget, starting October 8th until October 15, we are going to be launching our nationwide Lazada and Shopee sale for the upcoming 1010 Mega Brands sale. So if you'd like to get copies of our best-selling books, right? So the best-selling books that I showed you a while ago, these books, they're going to be at 50% off starting October 8th until October 15 only. Please don't forget, go to our Lazada and our Shopee sites. That is Jonathan Yabut official store. Okay? I'm going to end the session now. Thank you for attending our webinar for today. I'm going to leave you behind with our QR codes. If you'd like to get copies of your optional certificate, or if you'd like to watch our past webinars, you can do that by scanning the QR code right in front of you. Stay safe. I'm going to see you next week. And don't forget, take care of someone that you love and continue being critical with your environment. Bye, guys.